Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, a major free agent is preparing for being a free agent.
Will Ospreay is finally open to signing with WWE.
CM Punk, he's a free agent. What's he doing?
The top WWE star is out of Crown Jewel. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm in a kerfuffle.
I really thought there was going to be a second part of your sentence. This is the news.
Sentences only need one part, baby.
Yeah.
Let's talk our first of two news stories this morning about Big Bill himself. Billy Ostrich, Billy Ocean.
Oh, okay.
Healing potion, I don't know. Will Ospreay, let's talk about him.
WCPW's very own.
Yeah, the big bird.
We made him.
We did. Him and MJF. So there you go, 2-in-1. Thank you.
You're welcome.
WCPW. Let's talk about Will Ospreay because his future is going to be the one of the big questions that pro wrestling must answer in early 2024 because his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract is up in February. And it looks like he's exploring many avenues. PW Insider's Mike Johnson reporting yesterday that Ospreay has hired Barry Bloom to represent him ahead of his free agency when his contract expires and all of that stuff. This is a particularly significant move as Big Barry Bloom, the Bloomer himself,
the real Triple B.
That's him. He has represented all kinds of major stars, including Chris Jericho, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega in their recent AEW negotiations. But in the past, he's also represented people like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Jeez.
So he's a guy who's good at getting money for his client and presumably himself. Listen, he's a successful dude. Ospreay has previously claimed that he will field offers when his New Japan contract expires. Now, it looks like he is positioning himself to land the best deal possible. Now, Fightful Select has some information on Ospreay as well. They note that Ospreay believes his next career will be his next career, like he's going to just retire and become a painter or something. They believe that his next contract will be the most important of his career. That's what Will believes. He's probably right. Apparently this decision is likely to be heavily financially motivated as a result of that. WWE and AEW were made aware of Ospreay hiring Bloom in August, so it's been going on a while. He's worked so many places this year. I mean, every year he does, but he's had high-profile roles, obviously, in New Japan, which is where he signed. AEW, high-profile stuff there. He went over to Noah and wrestled Marufuji. He was on Impact at the weekend, and he loved that. Rev Pro, like the list goes on and on and on. So, hey, Will Ospreay, great wrestler. Of course, everyone's going to want to sign him.
Yeah, I don't think there's any wrestling company who'd be like, Will Ospreay? No, I'm fine.
No thanks.
But it's understandable. He's 30 years old?
30, yeah.
So, this is the contract, basically, that you really wanted. Peak of his powers. I don't know how many years ago it was that Paul Heyman on the Inside the Ropes tour basically said, here's a WWE contract if you want one. But I think WWE would be interested. AEW obviously have worked with him in the past. And any other big wrestling company, you talk about the bidding war of 2024 with MJF. I think it's going to be with Will Ospreay as well, especially now he's got this Barry Bloom.
Barry Barricades.
Looking after him.
He's back.
R.I.P.
in lawyer form.
But if you're thinking, Will Ospreay, would he fit within WWE? Like I said, he's worked with New Japan and with an AEW and Impact. Obviously had that awesome match with Mike Bailey just the other day. But he's open to working with WWE. He said as much in an interview with the Metro. He said, we've spoke about him more. I'm just going to read it normally. Sorry, Will.
Andy Bernard.
He already wants to punch me hard enough from our time in WCPW. We have spoken about him more. I'm now open to the idea of stretching myself out that little bit more as age has become more apparent to me and my body is hurting more and more. Understandable with the style that he works. I'm open to all avenues. I've had a lot of talks with my friends about this. I've spoken to the missus. Although we spent so much money on our new kitchen, we are open to the idea of relocating to the United States. It's on the table, not the kitchen table, the metaphorical table. It's on the table, that's all I can really say. That means I'm open to all options going forward.
He has just got a new kitchen, so maybe it is on the kitchen table. Who knows?
The offers are on the kitchen table and literally on the table.
Yeah, it's interesting because previously he said he wasn't really interested in signing with WWE because it would be like a big lifestyle change.
Understandable, But
now he's open to it. Look, the smartest wrestlers in the game, everyone in the game, will now, when they become a free agent, be playing every single party against each other. It'll be very interesting to see how WWE is in that market in this new Endeavor era.
Yeah.
My gut, and my gut is quite large, tells me that maybe they're not going to be quite as just here's buckets of money to every single wrestler as they once were.
Yeah, it's not 2019 anymore.
Yeah, I don't think Endeavor will give much of a hoot about that sort of stuff, but you make an exception for exceptional talents, which is what Will Ospreay is, one of the best wrestlers of all time. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where he lands. I'm interested to see what he does.
As if WWE would need any more convincing, but you've got to assume guys like Ricochet have obviously worked some of the best matches ever with him.
Yeah.
And guys from the British indie scene, your Pete Dunnes, your Tyler Bates, are going to be like, you need to move heaven and earth to get Will Ospreay in.
And Triple H pays attention to stuff outside of WWE, unlike his dumbass father-in-law.
And that change at the top may well sway Will. I think, not completely, but I think the decision may have been slightly easier for him 6 months ago, where it's like, right, I could go, or I could go to AEW, or I could go to WWE and become a high-flying beekeeper.
British luchador or something, but yeah, I'm excited to see where he lands. I think for me, I'd rather see him stay in New Japan or go to AEW because I think for my taste, those options offer the most opportunities for truly great matches, which is what I like the most. So
I think that's fair, but I'm also intrigued to see what him in WWE would look like. But you know what? Let us know what you think, where you'd like to see Will Ospreay end up, other than a WCPW reunion show, of course, in the comment section below.
Indeed. Let's move over to the other big name free agent of the video, CM Punk. He's blooming backstage in Impact, man.
My guy.
He was at the tele. He wasn't at Bound for Glory. This is from House of Wrestling, by the way. He wasn't at Bound for Glory at the weekend. A lot of people gone, hey, could he debut there or whatever, or return technically, I guess. But he was at the television tapings the next day in Cicero, Illinois. So he's a prick in the bear, isn't he, Cicero? Gee whiz. Don't about the kid's birthday party episode is very funny.
I need to finish watching that.
Kind of an asshole takes ketchup on hot dog. Child asshole. I love it.
What his kids have gone
Cousin!
haven't they?
Yeah, it's a great show. Sorry, I shouted over you.
That's all right.
Details on him being backstage. So he arrived about just before bell time. He obviously visited Impact back in April, and this time he wanted to keep a bit of a lower profile, so he arrived like shortly before the tapings began. People were a bit more relaxed around him backstage because he'd been there before, so they presumably hey, it's the guy I saw a few months ago.
Yeah.
What's up, guy I saw? He was talking to people, including people who just wanted to catch up with him. Key Impact talent met with Mr. Da Punk and all of that stuff. Interestingly, it's noted that he didn't spend much time with Ace Steel, his close friend who he fought the Elite with.
And bit.
Yep. Yeah. Da bite.
Never forget that bit.
Ow. Da bite. Hey, he was just trying to protect Larry, man. Larry's the innocent party.
Oh, yeah.
This. Steel is back in Impact as a producer, of course. Fightful Select reporting as well. Combos coming in today. The sources close to Punk have indicated a few months ago that they didn't think he would end up working for Impact. But if he woke up one day and said, hey, I want to wrestle Josh Alexander in the Motor City Machine Guns, he'd probably be able to do that.
Just a one-off date. I mean, yeah.
Another source indicated that pay would probably be a bit of an issue because Punk's AEW deal was worth around 15 to 20 times the top Impact salaries. So yeah, I can see why that would be a problem. But Punk is currently in Pro Wrestling Limbo, of course. He's been fired by AEW. WWE don't want him for now. We'll see what occurs.
Who would be the best at Pro Wrestling Limbo?
I don't know.
Going under the...
What is this? Do we have any yoga practitioners in wrestling? They're probably usually quite...
I feel like Casey Catanzaro might be quite good at that.
Yeah, she climbs up the post and all that stuff. Yeah, she'd be good at that.
Look, I think he was just hanging out with some mates, and I don't think he's going to end up in TNA, as it's soon going to be. I believe it's all a work, and he's going to show up at Survivor Series.
Okay.
Just putting it out there. I've assessed everything, and I've decided it's a work, and I've never been wrong about that sort of thing. Finally, a major star, Andy, is set to miss Crown Jewel next weekend. That star being Brock Lesnar. This is a report from Mike Johnson. Obviously, as I said, Crown Jewel goes down on the 4th of November. But he's just not in the creative mix for the show. And I think he's sort of used as an emergency break glass sometimes by WWE, like, oh, ticket sales aren't doing so good, but they have smashed it, obviously, with this show in Riyadh. They've already sold, as you can see on the graphic when they put it just says sold out. It's sold out already. They don't need his star power right now, at least. The card right now, of course, Universal Championship, WWE Universal, whatever it's bloody called. Roman Reigns versus LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, that women's five-way, Rhea, Nia, Shayna, Zoe and Raquel, Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul, and just added after last night's Raw, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest.
There you go. He loves a 5-match card at the moment, doesn't he? Old Papa H.
Anything else going to be added?
Meh.
I mean, probably chuck a couple more on.
I'm an advocate of the short wrestling shows.
Yeah. Especially at a reasonable time for us. With the
yeah, I mean, I'm not watching this.
You don't watch it,
like, unless I need it for coverage, I'll just read the results online. I'm not giving them my click for these bloody blood money shows. And look, people get annoyed when we call it that. We're one of the last few outlets who's actually willing to call these shows out for what they are. It's a rehabilitative sports washing project, like Newcastle United Football Club. So yeah, I'm not going to watch this reprehensible, awful wrestling show, even though the quality of the matches will probably be pretty decent.
Yeah.
They don't need Brock Lesnar to sell tickets. That's the bottom line. So there you go.
And tell you what, we don't need to sell tickets for. Actually, no, we do. The Dudley Boys are on tour. Get your tickets right now, whatculture.com/tickets. Tuesday, November 21st at the Mosaic Tap in Newcastle upon Tyne. Less than 10 tickets available right now. So if you're going to come and join us, get yourself your tickets right now. whatculture.com/tickets. Let's move over to your Twitter questions. Also, we're taking from the YouTube community page, which we will do for the rest of this week. So keep an eye on that one for our pitching for questions. Mark Smith starts us off. How successful of a marketing tool will Logan Paul with the US title be? And who will he lose it to at the Rumble? My guess is LA.
Very, I think. It's quite interesting to think about it as a marketing tool because, like, the point of the world titles with the giant logo design is that when you see them on TV, you instantly recognize, oh, it's WWE. So that's like marketing in itself. It puts it in your conscious. He's the WWE champion. It's immediately obvious. The US title is one of the few that doesn't have the big
beautiful belt that I really like what they've done with it.
But yeah, it's a really nice belt design, and he'll have it on his shoulder, on TV, on YouTube, on his podcast.
And impulsive, and selling crypto scams.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, if Logan Paul is great at one thing, right, it's just scamming a very young audience and conning people's parents into paying exorbitant sums of money for his fake rubbish.
Prime is delicious.
Prime is terrible. Have you like done any research into this drink? It's like promoted as like, oh, it's got fewer calories. Yeah, Logan Paul, because it's got nothing in it. That's why it's got fewer calories than Gatorade.
It's sweet water.
So yeah, I mean, he'll do a great job because he's very good at wrestling and he's very good at marketing. He's just a con artist.
I'm a member of the Low Gang for life, so I'm kinder to Logan Paul. I think it's a really smart thing to do if they put the US title on him. Maybe have him disappear with it, not necessarily and never defend it on the road to, but eventually, if you're not going to do the world title thing with LA Knight at WrestleMania, if you're going to do, I don't know, Gunther involved with Seth or something, LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the US title at WrestleMania is going to be a huge match.
I thought you were going to pivot towards Logan Paul getting the world title.
Oh, no, God, no.
Easy, peeps.
No, but I could easily see him winning the US title because me and Amvlet have been talking about this a lot on the SmackDown Preview and Review podcast. If you're paying attention, Santos Escobar is getting more and more pissed off with Rey Mysterio, and he may well cost him next weekend. Next question comes from Cyborg24, who says, good morning. I just want to start by saying thanks for the content, including the podcast. It really helps my mental health. You're welcome.
You're welcome. It's really nice to hear.
Yeah. When LA Knight faces Roman at Crown Jewel, will he lose dirty via distraction from the bloodline?
Ooh, yeah, I could see Jimmy getting a little too over enthusiastic and maybe costing Mr. Knight the match. I think that's probably the way it's going to go.
Yeah, right? I think you're going to lay the path to Cody finally defeating. I can't remember who pitched this on Twitter the other day, but someone shared the clip of obviously Cody getting screwed at WrestleMania 39, and someone else said they should literally do this shot for shot at WrestleMania 40, but have Cody kick out. And I was like, that actually is really
pretty tidy.
Good.
That's pretty tidy.
But yeah, as part of that, you need more Roman. I mean, especially someone like LA Knight, you don't want him beating him clean. You want to have LA Knight have an excuse, otherwise his style might diminish somewhat. And Jimmy Uso, who I really like as a character in recent weeks on SmackDown, he's just really trying to overcompensate for the fact that he absolutely sucks. And him, maybe Solo gets gotten rid of, but Jimmy being the because me and Hamlet were talking about this on the podcast yesterday. I love the idea of Jimmy helping Roman win and Jimmy, cock of the walk coming to SmackDown and going, Roman, acknowledge me. And Roman have to be like, I'm going to have to do it because he helped me win because I was in real trouble. I think it's the right way to do it and it protects LA Knight.
I'm on board.
Tully Television, final question today. Thank you, Tully. Says, hello, legends. So everybody wants to know your dream matches. But what I don't know is what your nightmare matches. A match that would be worse than if Russo was riding it, bro. I need at least 3 swives.
3 swives. Can I be lazy? Can I say one final beat 2? It's the worst wrestling match of all time. It really is. It's utter trash. Like, no redeeming quality. Like, I'm not a cinematic match.
You have to put your hand away.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, why am I so violent? It was the art form of professional wrestling eating itself. In fact, I'm scared. Like, I'm reticent to actually call it a match because it was this pre-taped, heavily edited cinematic garbage. But yeah, I think it's the worst pro wrestling match of all time. And if I have to watch that again professionally, I mean, I'll do it because I'm paid to.
Yeah.
But I will not be happy, and I'll probably do like a strongly worded tweet about it. Yeah, it's garbage.
I think people automatically think I'm going to say things like the Ken off from Hell match. That was funny. The dogs were humping each other and pooping around the ring.
Funny bad is better than bad.
Yeah, you need reverse battle royal. What? You have to start with that.
Yeah.
Start with that. I think you need Natalia involved in it. I'm joking. I'm only winding you up. Chill out. But I think, one where the crowd genuinely don't know the rules. There's been a lot of Russo matches where they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Maybe like constantly changing rules, like just Duchess of Queensberry, but only Russo knows what the rules are. Anti-heat. You need people who just are not, like, when they were like, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Aldis, and everyone's like,
huh? Poor Nick.
Nothing against Nick. I was not saying it, but you need, like, there's sometimes when WWE especially books these matches and then just sends people out there to die, and it's just like, you knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you think? What was Nikki Cross doing on Raw last night? What was all that about? Huh?
I don't know. I got another one.
Go on.
Jack Briscoe is the most boring wrestler I've ever watched. That is going to, like, if there's any old heads watching now, I'm sorry, but like I've watched so many hour-long matches with that guy from like the 70s. Oh no, versus Kane. Yeah,
Kane sucks.
Just chewing on people today, brother. Let's talk about the Undertaker. Yeah. Let's go.
I love Kane back in the day, but he's a knobhead now. So
I loved him when I was a kid as well, but. You really name a 3-star match. Like,
do you know what? I put the little cherry on the crap icing on the crap cake. It has to have some sort of sponsorship tie-in. You know, and they're like, oh, well, here comes Leatherface. And you're like, what? Or like, remember the WrestleMania Backlash where they're like, and the winner is Damian Priest, and the loser gets eaten by zombies. And then they still have to show up the next day.
So what's your product?
Ooh. Any product?
What's like a garbage? Subway's pretty garbage, but is it that bad? Actually, the guy from Subway is the worst guy of all time, isn't he? So maybe that's appropriate. I don't know.
We're not booking a celebrity match here.
We're not booking that guy.
What food absolutely, or food or...
Subway is bad.
What's the crap American Hershey's?
Hershey's?
Is it that one? Is it Reese's? I know Reese's are nice.
It's the peanut butter. Yeah, Hershey's is okay, but
why do you make good chocolate, America?
It does smell like puke.
Yeah,
like that's the thing about Hershey's.
Durian and Hershey's.
Durian, no.
Delete it.
Durian gives me flashbacks, office flashbacks.
I'll tell you what else will give you flashbacks.
This video right here.
Bye.